Hi people, welcome to Kat's Intuition. I am Krystal Kat, and today I wanted to go over briefly one of these oracle decks that I just received. My mother gifted this to me for Mother's Day, and this is The Journey of a Lonely Soul. I've been wanting this since I saw it came out. Here is the box, very shiny box. It is a Los Garobeo deck. It is 32 oracle cards in this deck, and of course it comes in the different languages that Los Garbo usually does. It says, savor a bittersweet melodic journey through the woods and the back roads of the soul, and explore the dark side of the spirit. It has nice little thumb cutouts, whatever those are called here. Very nice, very dark blue deck. Until you see the backs. There are the backs. So you do have this tiny little ribbon here to help you take the cards out of the deck. That is nice. The inside of the box is just black. Nice sturdy box. Here's the book. Nothing special in here, no spreads, no anything like that. It looks kind of thick, but it is all the different languages. So I will show you. All right, so there are 32 cards, and so that is English. So just this part here. All right, so real quick, it does give you a little table of contents where to find the different languages. Journey of a Lonely Soul. It says, or it gives you a welcome, how to use the deck, and then that's it. And then you get straight into the card write-ups. So as you see, you get this write-up for one card, and each card gives you a question. For instance, this says, ask yourself, how can I be more firm with myself? How has my training taught me to cope with this? And then, and as you see, no pictures. So a very basic little book here. And for each one, though, you do get a question, the ask yourself type question. So that is the kind of stuff you'll find in the book. So now let's look at the cards. These are the backs of the cards. Very red. I love the backings. I love this design. What is that? Damastic, something like that. It makes me it makes me think of like an old album that's been in the family for a while, you know, with the nice touches on the corners and little cameo in the middle type thing. All right, so here are the cards. They are, of course, bigger than a standard tarot deck. They are like a nice oracle size. Let me just give you something to reference the size with. This is a standard US game deck. So there you go. That's the size. So again, nice oracle size. Now, tarot cards being this big, I don't want that. But oracle, I'm okay because I don't use a lot of oracle cards in one reading. Usually, I will pull 2 oracle cards to go along with a tarot reading. Usually meaning if I pull any oracle at all to go with my tarot reading, it's usually only 2. If I do an oracle reading on its own, meaning without any tarot, I will usually pull only 3 cards anyways. So I don't mind the size. Now down at the bottom, I guess you could say you get keywords, but it says, I'll give you an example. Now these are out of order because I have shuffled them already. I don't really feel like it, it matters so much. You do get a number at the bottom, and would it be a title or a key phrase? There we go. So like this one says, not like a fairy tale. That is the key phrase that you have for this one. So it's easy to find. I like when they do have numbers, or at least be in alphabetical order in the book for you to look up the meanings until you are familiar with this deck and no longer need the book. But very nice. We just see our figure here, very, 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 very skinny legs and trees, birds in the back, and this tying of this bow here. A lot to take in, and they all follow that. This is solace in the secluded garden. I love this big mansion, castle-y type look in the back. I really, really, really love the feel of these cards. I like a more dark, more dramatic deck, and this definitely does it for me. And because that is my aesthetic, I feel like this Oracle deck would pair up nicely with so many of my tarot decks. This one is Floating in the Storm. Love this burst of red here, and yeah, the facial expressions are always very serious, if not sad in some of them. So this one is Wasteland's Absolution. So you see here, the faces are very strange, very odd. Almost, at first glance, they almost look doll-like. And yeah, have that apple hanging down above them. I love the craziness of the hair. The hair in this deck actually makes me think of a lot of my mother's drawings, especially her mermaid drawings. But a lot of her drawings, their hair has like a whole personality of its own, and I love that. This is Reflections of Artifice. Really love this one. Now, I did do a 3-card pool with this. That's all I've had a chance to work with it, because as I said, I just received this on Mother's Day. So I received this May 10th. May 10th is like the Mexican Mother's Day, and that's what my mother and I usually will, when we will exchange our gifts. I am Hispanic, even though I do not look it. But yeah, my mother's first language was Spanish. She actually learned English with Sesame Street. My grandmother, my Nina, didn't even know English. So yeah. Covenant of Regret. Oof. I just feel like these cards are very deep, very heavy. So anyways, this, so I did just receive it on the 10th, and so I did the one reading, and wow, I was not expecting for it to be just like so spot on being an Oracle deck, but it really was. And I posted it on my Instagram. I posted the image of the 3 cards that I got, and yeah, it was deep. Black Silk Armor. Oh, I like that. This is also really fun for me because it is so new. I'm able to look through the cards again one by one. Cathedral in the Woods. Ooh, beautiful. Almost looks like a waterfall right there, but it's just the light showing through the trees. Portrait of a Seeker. See, so now that we flipped through a few cards, I feel like you can really get the sense of what I meant by this is a very heavy deck. All the images seem very serious, very dramatic, you know, Architect of the Unseen. I don't believe there are any really like happy cards in this deck, and that sounds weird to say. Cradled by the Sky. But yeah, they're all like this, very, very moody. Ballroom of Echoes. You see, you would think, oh, a ballroom, that should be fun, right? But we have those 2 faces again that we saw previously with the apple hanging down, that I said that they almost look like doll faces, but yeah. This one is Dreamtime Odyssey. She's upside down on a horse. Makes me think of the Hanged Man. I didn't remember seeing that one. I love being able to flip through these again. Like a leaf in the wind, she's blowing away. This is very floaty, very airy, very watery almost, because you're just in that suspension, that weightlessness that you can feel in water. Perpetual particles. I just love all the detail, all that like old wallpaper that you would walk in and find in an old abandoned house. That's just what this looks like. You're doing a ghost hunt, and you're walking into these abandoned houses, and you find this old-timey mansion with all of these rooms and all this different kind of decor, and all of the seating is tattered, and the wallpaper is falling off, and the windows are broken, and trees are overgrown, and it's just lush, and that dark, eerie beauty, all with the exception of this one. This is Gardens of Bones. This, of course, not an earthy feeling card at all. All those buildings, but here we go, the edge of the eternal, and with that very airy, watery feel. I love it. This deck may be a serious deck, but it is very calming to me. I find it very calming. Twilight Debutante. See, it's almost like these are the ghosts. I see it as she is the ghost that we're seeing in these old haunted mansions, and maybe we find an old book of hers, right? An old see, I'm putting my own story on this deck. This has nothing to do with the deck. Like, that's not what's wrote up in the book, but that's how I see it. She's this spirit wandering around. See, that is the same picture that we had with her in all of those buildings, and I didn't like that one because it's all building and, more modern, but it's almost like she's just, well, like it says, a lonely soul, and she's just wandering around, and that was her kind of stepping out, kind of where she doesn't belong, and seeing how things have modernized as opposed to how they were back in her day in this old-timey mansion. I didn't know what that was. I don't know if that's an apple or not. And again, here with that water diving toward the heavens. Love it. I could also go as far as saying that I feel like this woman drowned, right? If I really dive deep into the story that I'm creating in my head about this deck and about this woman, see, return to abundant shores. Maybe that's where it happened. Maybe she was eating apples, having a good time in the boat, and she drowned. It tipped over, or a storm came. Ooh, yeah, because you know what? This one says floating in the storm. Floating in the storm. Yes. Okay. So see, there's like this odd connection that I have to this deck with the story that I'm building with it, and I don't do that with any of my decks. First of all, they usually come with their own story, and this one does. It does give you a write-up in the beginning on the welcome part about, at the moment of our birth, we are cast adrift all alone in an absurd world in which we must find our way. Though we will encounter many fellow travelers along our path, each of us is a single star with its own destiny to discover. Some are uneasy with the truth of the solitary journey and seek to cling tightly to others in order to ease their discomfort. Others embrace the path of solitude, wandering on an eternal pilgrimage that is uniquely suited to what their spirit is seeking. These lonely souls will travel where they feel called, absorbing the wisdom from countless schools of thought and sacred traditions. So see, it has nothing to do with actual death and ghosty things and mansions, and it has nothing to do with anything I was saying, but that is where this deck takes me. That is why I feel so connected to it. Mystified innuendo. We have a little bunny right there. She looks like she's pouting. She's upset. She's angry. Maybe she's sad because she's seeing life, and she misses the day when she was alive. Here again, and maybe that's why the hair is all drifty and looks the way it does, was because she as a ghost is being presented in that suspension in water. you know, in that floaty, flowy way that you would see, well, a body floating in water. Strings of a welcome wind. Stirrings of a welcome wind. You know, that ghosty, eerie wind that you get when a ghost comes through. So see, I have completely like altered the thought behind this deck, but it is what it is. That's what I see. That's how I feel when I see this deck. So the cave with no windows, you know, that's very deep. I feel like feeling trapped and not being able to get out. And yeah, so this would be a picture that we would have seen of her on the walls and the hallways of the mansion. Antechamber of apathy. Gorgeous. Again, all these apples and the crows here. Actually, they look like little blackbirds. I don't think they're actually crows. But yeah, so see this old wallpaper here, and that would be her. So that is my take on this deck. I am going to edge this deck. I might edge it in this red. I'm not sure yet. I was thinking black. Of course, black would look great, black and red, but I don't know. I'm going to think about it some more, and I'll probably do a video on that where you come along with me on that journey. I'm not sure. Do you have this deck? What do you think of this deck? I would love to know. Let's talk about it. And what are your thoughts on or color recommendations to edge this deck in? I would really like to have some opinions on that. So anyways, yeah, that is my Journey of a Lonely Souls Oracle deck, where I've completely created a story that has nothing to do with the original storyline. All right, thank you guys for joining me, and until next time, guys, nothing but love. Bye.